Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back, guys. So today we're going to cover where we left off on the 144 and we'll start with the Nazca lines. So what do we have here? The Nazca Orca, and the Nazca lines are all on the 144. So as we've covered in the other videos, the shrine sits on 144 degrees east latitude. It's 144 kilometres from Monu Island to the apex on the pyramid at Parliament House. And we showed the significance of that with the line running straight over the top of this guy. Exactly 36 degrees south. And then at the exact median, or messy, or middle, was this, the big hole. That's 72 kilometres from the island. And then I showed the Straits of Gibraltar being exactly at 36 degrees north, where the Egyptian priest Solon told Plato you would go through the Pillars of Hercules to find the mythical place Atlantis. So with that recap out of the way, I found some new things on Monu Island which are extremely curious. These guys here. After making the last video, I was in contact with a original elder friend of mine for 20 years. And she told me about the place of Monu Island was a male initiation ceremonial place. She's extremely knowledgeable on so many topics, and she made a funny comment. She said, "I've always found it funny how there's a big white penis on Monu Island now. The Masons knew about the male initiation ceremony there and erected their own." I think it's reasonable to say that with the male initiation on Monu Island and the big hole at the 72 exact centre point, and then the apex of the pyramid at Parliament House, I think we could say that Parliament House is the child, the male, the female, and giving birth and creation to the new empire. And what else do we have at 36 degrees north? For those in the know, Malta. Now Malta's got amazing megalithic structures and resonance chambers, all tuned to different frequencies. Quite an amazing place and history there. Quite clearly there's a connection to Malta and the Maltese cross, the geometry and everything of it. But what we're going to show is that Bob Greener from the Martin Flashman Memorial Project has uncovered and discovered all the geometries that we've been looking at in the symbols, from Malta to the Templars to the pyramids to, keep going. It's all here in the plasma, and he zooms right in and shows the implosions and then puts the geometry over the top of it. And all the geometry that we learn about that actually has a function, and it's not a pretty picture, or not just a pretty picture. It actually has a function, and he shows absolutely clearly, zoomed in on the plasma, that it rips apart any material and then reforms it into other matter, new forms of matter. If you look at his videos, which everyone should be watching, especially at this time, this is brand new, because the Lords of El and the snake cult and all the guilds, whether it be stonemason guilds, the electrical engineering guilds, that's really what happened in the 1800s after cataclysms and wars, etc. Is these guilds took all of it, and not really many people know now all the different secrets from metallurgy even to even the music and the scale and the 440 tuning. It really does put to bed all the silliness about all this, from the Anunnaki symbols and the Sumerian symbols that we see everywhere, the winged disc and the caduceus and the Maltese cross and everything else. These experiments in the plasma field and their observations of the after effects are showing that all the alchemical symbols from the ancient past show basically the geometry of the process that's happening within the toroidal moment, as they're calling it. No one really knows still what is going on the inside there, but there's the two little circles, the owl eyes basically, one male, one female. One seems to be, sort of injecting the other one, and the other one seems to be finally bursting and spewing out material. And this material isn't the material that, like, it's copper or brass on these plates that they're looking at, and it's spewing out carbons and all sorts of different elements in the chemical and periodic table. This is truly what we've been calling the Great Work all these years, and not really knowing what it meant. But this has been known for many eons, and we're just sort of rediscovering it, in our own sort of slow way, because it's not easy to read the symbols if you're not read into them. I think for a lot of us now, we're starting to see that all these clues, like all these buildings built on the 144, or ancient burial mounds in Norway and Scotland and England and Australia now that we're finding, being sort of mystically placed in certain locations and along ley lines. And I've looked into that for years now, and I thought, okay, is this ley lines thing real? Or is it just a bunch of drawings over the earth that look good? But now I'm finding, for myself in Australia, all these things, and even the Parliament House builders or surveyors, etc., have clearly used these things. And if no one could sort of say to me, oh no, they haven't, there's too many now. And I've got more to do with even the naming of the mountain in Maria called Hanging Rock, and another Hanging Rock in Melbourne on the 144 again near the shrine. So there's lots more I could add to these videos, but there's just way too much. I think we've left codes everywhere. I think we had a great cataclysm long ago, and we knew it was going to happen. We knew because it had happened before. But we built everything out of stone, and we put things all over in certain locations even. We were specific about what we did to remember. And I think we are remembering. So which piece of the string do you live on? When you look at this diagram here, and there's better ones out there, but which piece of the string on these ley lines across the globe or across the realm? There's a lot of the same numbers that are used in sacred geometry and the music scale. So it's all the same, as above, so below, and it really is this same geometry and musical scales and ratios, really. It's all about the ratios. And their relationship with time, sound, colour, and everything that we experience with the five senses. This image is going to be one of the most important ever in the future, I think. Right now, but in the future will be acknowledged. Because as we go along in this series, I'm going to show that music and vibration with electricity and magnetism together work to make those stones fit into each other like a glove, or travel. And one more finding, the great year, 25,920 years of the cycle. And this guy sits on 36 degrees and is 720 metres high. 36 times 72 is 25,920.